got cut off because the one I was playing wasn't play. But yeah, no, it's shocking. Shocking news. Some of the most infamous crimes in the history of crimes. And the guy just walked out. So I'm going to show you a bit of news from Melbourne. Beautiful Adelaide. Enjoy. It's pretty cool. But you can tell me what you think, okay? It's crazy because
South Australia's history. The Snowtown bank, made infamous by the so-called bodies in the barrels murders, is up for sale. Sunrise correspondent Amanda Backman has taken a tour. Amanda, what was it like and what sort of real estate agent is taking this on?
Yes, well, in a word, it was creepy. I felt quite unsettled there. Having said that, the building itself is decent and I could see the potential if you can get past what went on there. Let's take a look.
And that's the thing, you know, would you live in a place where crimes have been committed or someone passed away there? And definitely the bank, you know, a lot of people do. They don't care. Just buy it and leave it.
It's a quiet country town, slow-paced, peaceful, friendly. But Snowtown
And this is 13 years ago.
will forever be known.
So, a while. Old news, but it's, you know, related to what's happening. So,
The bodies in the barrel. And back in 1999, 8 bodies were found in the town's empty bank.
So I'm going to take a look at the first time as to this bank building and to where the actual bodies in the barrel were. So if you follow me around the corner, we come into this section, which is the actual bank. And then I understand through here, this is the vault. And it's kind of creepy in here. The barrels are props from the movie, Snowtown. It's a weird feeling in here. It does kind of creep me out a bit. And I've got goosebumps. It's a strange feeling being here.
The bank is up for sale, with a house attached.
Some people might find this room a bit freaky, but you remove the freak out of you, and it's actually a great size room that you love at your place.
Agent Nigel Christie reckons at 200 grand, the building is great value.
This has possibly got some of South Australia's best or greatest history. It's not good history, but it is history. So, you know, that's why I think, you know, it's a great property.
But Snowtown offers much more than its gruesome place in South Australian history. Nicole and Nigel Macaulay are raising their daughters there.
When we moved here, there was a lot of other factors that played, like making sure there was schooling, hospital, GPs. The bank definitely wasn't a factor.
Like Nicole said, it's got all the facilities.
Hey, this is 13 years ago. How are you, Euclid? Melomaniac. The bloody sold the bank for 200 grand. Would you live there? Hell no, right? Oh my God. You know, nice to meet you. They sold it. And you think, who's going to live somewhere where they committed horrible crimes, right?
We get involved in the community club, tennis and football, and we sponsor things around the town. So no, it's a great atmosphere and the people here are friendly and, yeah, very gracious.
Murray Wenzel came to Snowtown almost 30 years ago to work on the railroad.
I like the atmosphere here, I like the people, and it's a very small, well-knit community.
It's also a community that's trying to move on, according to Paul McCormack from the town's management committee.
My interest and the community interest is for the bank to go through its normal sale process, that the purchaser is a genuine person that has an interest in developing the site for the benefit of the whole community.
If you are interested, the property is for sale on eBay. So what's Nigel's best sales pitch?
Why wouldn't you buy it? It's a 4-bedroom brick home, solid brick, so it's been built for a...
Why wouldn't you buy it? Because I found, you know, bodies in barrels there that have been dismembered. All right, so that's a picture of an artist. Nice to meet y'all. Welcome to my channel. I normally relax, you know. I'm in Melbourne. off-grid, sometimes up north Victoria. And so nice to meet you, sis. Pretty good, pretty good. They just released someone. Are you in Horsham? You're kidding, right? My place is in Netherby, you know, past Neil. Oh my god. Hey Shannon, life artist, she's in Vegas. Welcome. Oh, I love it. I probably know you. I got friends in Horsham. Yeah, I've got a little off-grid shed up there. And I got a Neil shopping, you know. Oh, wow. And so you're Indigenous Australian, Aboriginal? Because you call me sister. I've been to Warragnarville. Leanne Cooper. Oh, maybe. I'm bad with names. Oh, the leggy's resting today. Oh, I love it. I've probably seen you around. Oh, when I go to Horsham, we'll catch up. Or maybe, you don't have to subscribe, but if you do subscribe, well, you can just comment under stuff. That's so cool. Hey, life artist. LSD Melomaniac. She's in Horsham, which is where Jimena and Andy are. My girlfriend, they have her baby there. Okay, Maniac, thank you, sweetheart. And I you know, you don't know how much I miss the country. You know, I miss the country. Jeff Barry, I can't be thank you. I haven't seen the story of Ted Bundy. I have no idea who he is. Can you believe it? Just haven't seen it. Because apparently he's so famous. I had femur surgery. They had to take a tumor out of my bone and put screws in it. So they told me to stick around Melbourne for a little bit. So I'm here, recovering from surgery, but I'm better today. Oh, I just saw a picture of him, like a little video, you know. Hey, they sold the bank. Hey, Journey to Justice. So there was people that went missing in Adelaide, and then they found some of them in a bank, in barrels, in pieces. Anyway, this news that I'm showing you now is 13 years ago. I'll put it back to the beginning a little bit. Yeah, and they were gonna sell the bank where they actually found all the people in it. So good to... I can't believe you're from Horsham. I love it. I love it so much.
It's a quiet country town, slow-paced, peaceful, friendly. But Snowtown will forever be known for the bodies in the barrels, when back in 1999, 8 bodies were found in the town's empty bank.
So I'm going to take a look at the first time as to this bank building and to where the actual bodies in the barrel were. So if you follow me around the corner, we come into this section, which is the actual bank. And then I understand through here, this is the vault. And
oh my God, me too, Melanie.
It's kind of creepy in here. The barrels are props from the movie, Snowtown. It's a weird feeling in here. It does kind of creep me out a bit, and I've got goosebumps. It's a strange feeling being here.
You got a goosebumps. I got goosebumps that Melomaniac is from like an hour away from a little, you know, where my place is in Victoria. There's millions of Australians. Imagine meeting someone that comes from Warragnambil, which is, oh my God, I love it. OMG, right? What's a place in Warragnambil that sells all the oil stuff? I'll think about it. I go there all the time looking for stuff to buy for my shed up there off grid.
Place.
Agent Nigel Christie reckons at 200 grand, the building is great value.
This has possibly got some of South Australia's best or greatest history. It's not good history, but it is history. So, you know, that's why I think, you know, it's a great property.
But Snowtown offers much more than its gruesome place in South Australian history. Nicole and Nigel Macaulay are raising their daughters there.
When we moved here, there was a lot of other factors that played, like making sure there was schooling, hospital, GPs. The bank definitely wasn't a factor.
Like Nicole said, it's got all the facilities. We get involved in the community club, tennis and football. We sponsor things around the town. So, no, it's a great atmosphere and the people here are friendly and very gracious.
Murray Wenzel came to Snowtown almost 30 years ago to work on the railroad.
I like the atmosphere here, I like the people, and it's a very small, well-knit community.
It's also a community that's trying to move on, according to Paul McCormack from the town's management committee.
My interest and the community interest is for the bank to go through its normal sale process, that the purchaser is a genuine person that has an interest in developing the site for the benefit of the whole community.
If you are interested, the property is for sale on eBay. So what's Nigel's best sales pitch?
Why wouldn't you buy it? It's a 4-bedroom brick home, solid brick, so it's been built for a bank manager, so a really good residence. Plus you got this shop up here that you can use as your games room, use it as a commercial facility, whatever you like. Just come and have a look and have a go.
No, thank you. No way, right?
So it could be a tough sale. The first open is Saturday arvo. There could be 2 or 200 people. Because of the curiosity factor, there will be a $5 entry fee, which will go to cancer research. Oh, and in case you're interested, the bidding is currently at $99,989. So if you're keen, you better get your bid in.
Why would they keep the barrels there? Or I know they're props, but... Ooh. All right. Okay, Amanda, thank you.
They actually put the props, right? Hang on, because I'm going to go. I don't want to see bloody Erin Patterson. She ruins my bloody Sunday. So, it's crazy, right? Check this out. A year ago.
Confusion after surgery is common, but preventable.
See? They put commercials for surgery. It's like they know I had surgery, right? And so YouTube just finds commercials that relate to you.
Many remain fearful.
Now, almost 25 years after his arrest, one of the perpetrators is set to be freed. Mark Hayden, whose wife Elizabeth was one of the victims, will complete his 25-year sentence in May, and legal experts say there is nothing in the law that prevents his release.
The court has imposed a sentence. Once that sentence is complete...
Sorry, I'm a bit shaky, right? Because one of the guys got released on parole last month.
Then he would be released from custody.
While his fellow accused, Robert Wagner, John Bunting and James Vlasakis, were convicted of murder, Hayden, who is now 65, was only found to have assisted the offenders, not to have been actively involved in killings. Sarah Quick is the Victims' Rights Commissioner of South Australia and has spoken to the families impacted by Hayden's offending and impending release.
It's a very universal view that they would prefer he was never to be released.
The horrific crimes were uncovered by detectives who found decomposing bodies in a bank in Snowtown, 150 kilometres north of Adelaide, in May 1999.
Because of the advanced state of decomposition, it will not be possible to accurately discern how many bodies are there until exhaustive forensic testing has been completed.
In total, 8 bodies were identified from the 6 barrels found in the bank. The remains of 3 more victims were discovered elsewhere. It was a killing spree that had lasted 7 years, led by the depraved John Bunting, claiming...
Sorry, Melomaniac. I actually met Tony Mockbell's brother. He used to come to the bar where I used to serve, and My boss was friends with him. Holy hell, right?
Target pedophiles, Bunting focused on anyone who was different, encouraging Robert Wagner, James Sarkis and Mark Hayden to help him commit and cover up the atrocious acts. Those killed were their relatives and acquaintances. Clinton Trezise, Ray Davies, Michael Gardner, Barry Lane, Thomas Trevelyan, Gavin Porter, Troy Yude, Fred Brooks, Gary O'Dwyer, Elizabeth Hayden and David Johnson disappeared between 1992 and 1999. The killers tortured their victims to get personal details and then claimed their welfare benefits. Michael O'Connell was the Victims' Rights Commissioner for more than a decade and has been in regular contact with family members.
The victims were human beings and their lives were stolen, and their loved ones now live with the loss for the rest of their lives. And that loss carries over generation after generation after generation.
Hayden's offending included storing and moving the bodies. He co-signed the lease for the Snowtown bank vault. He was also present when 21-year-old Troy Yude was murdered. Hayden went to trial charged with 2 counts of murder, but the jury couldn't reach a verdict. He was initially found to have been involved in assisting covering up 5 of the killings. He then pleaded guilty to 2 more counts of assisting offender. Hayden was given a non-parole period of 18 years. He's twice applied to be given his freedom, and it remains possible that he could still be paroled even before he's completed his jail time. And if he does finish that sentence, it remains an option for the government to apply for an extended supervision order,
which would impose conditions that would largely mirror parole, such as controlling where a person lives, where they can go, who they can and can't associate with, and can include electronic monitoring.
James Vlasakis, who gave evidence against the other men and pleaded guilty to 4 of the murders, will be eligible to apply for parole next year. For the families of the victims, just facing the thought of Hayden being granted freedom is difficult enough.
They very much feel that they've been given a life sentence, that their pain and their trauma doesn't subside. So it's really difficult to reconcile the fact that Hayden might have the opportunity to start a fresh life.
Both Bunting and Wagner have been told they will never be released on parole. James Wakelin, ABC News.
Thank you, ABC. No, it's bloody shocking. Yeah, I can tell. They've done a lot of damage, you know. But back in the day, we didn't know, and then it became a very famous case. Underbelly. I haven't seen it, you know. But, yeah, I don't watch TV either.
The stepdaughter of Snowtown serial killer Robert Joe Wagner has broken her silence after 20 years, revealing the pain his horror crimes have caused her. Kay Mills has told 9 News she understands why a court rejected the murderer's bid for release, but says one day he may deserve a chance to prove that he's changed.
He doesn't. I mean, what the hell?
Kay Mills was 9 years old when the man she called Dad was arrested over the Snowtown murders.
I was getting up for school. It was a bit confusing as a child, you know. I wake up in the morning and the cops have, kicked in the front door.
Her mother was engaged to Robert Joe Wagner when he was charged and later convicted of 10 counts of murder. Kay and her siblings, including Wagner's then 18-month-old son Jesse, were taken from the family home and never returned.
He was my dad and he took himself out of my life. And I'm angry at him for that.
Now, 20 years later, Wagner's bid for parole to see his 21-year-old son has brought up the pain of the past.
I gathered it had something to do with my brother, and I was just hoping it wasn't going to bring back any backlash.
The Supreme Court last week refused Wagner's request for a parole date to be set for his life sentence. The serial killer had asked for the judge to give him a possible release date so he could spend his final years with his son. Now, 30-year-old Kay says she understands why the court decided Wagner must never be released, but added,
he's learnt from what he did and he now knows the impact it's had on him and his son and the lives of us and his family. he probably has changed. So maybe later on down the track he may get that chance to prove himself a different person.
The Supreme Court judge, though, was blunt in his assessment of Wagner, saying he is plainly a hardened killer and incapable of true rehabilitation. And so he's now almost certain to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
I think he knows what he's done, and the fact that, like most people see him as a monster, I just grew up with a different side of him.
Yeah, well, yeah, so, like, what the hell, right? Look at this, 4 months ago. It did my head in.
Master your business with QuickBooks Online Advanced.
Oh, well, they're trying to sell me now. QuickBooks.
Mushrooms have killed 3 people. Aaron Patterson
has been arrested.
People's livers were disintegrating.
Oh, shoot.
It's a nightmare that'll never end for the families of the 11 people killed by the so-called Snowtown murderers.
It's a massive flashback. It's like a slap in the face.
South Australia's Parole Board Chair has confirmed to the ABC the youngest of the 4 men jailed over the murders, James Vlasakis, has applied for parole. The move comes a year after the man who assisted the killers, Mark Ray Hayden, was released into the community. Barry Lane, who was also known as Vanessa, was one of the victims. Lane's nephew says he's shocked over Vlasakis' bid for parole.
I feel it very, very disturbing and very uncomfortable. I don't think it's going to be safe for everyone here.
James Vlasakis was 19 when he took part in 4 of the 11 murders in the late 1990s. Now 45, he's eligible for parole because he gave evidence against ringleader John Bunting, who was convicted of 11 murders, and Robert Wagner, who was found guilty of 10. They were jailed for life with no prospect of release. Vlasakis' testimony also helped jail Mark Ray Hayden, who spent 25 years behind bars for his part as an accomplice. Mr. Lane says he's fearful in public since Hayden's release.
Life is not the same anymore with him being out, and now knowing that James' possibility be getting out is even going to be even worse. If I had it my way, none of them should ever be released, that they should rot in there until they die.
The Victims' Rights Commissioner says the sentiments are shared by many who knew the victims. It is clear the passage of time has done little to diminish the pain, trauma and fear experienced by these victims. It is evident the effects of these crimes infiltrate nearly every facet of their lives, with one victim explaining that every aspect of their life was tainted. Most victims do not want Mr. Vlasakis or his co-offenders to be released. The ABC has been told a parole hearing is at least 8 weeks away. Eva Blandis, ABC News.
Thank you, Eva Blandis. I keep showing, because some people don't know the story.
Small group of forensic...
No, it's just... So this is 6 years ago.
It was Thursday when more than 50 police officers entered an old bank building in a tiny country town north of Adelaide and unearthed what's believed to be Australia's worst serial killing.
Our major crime detectives, in conjunction with a small group of forensic police officers, were able to open the vault where you have decompositions of bodies.
I guess we weren't surprised with what we found, given the smell coming from the place.
As a story, it had all the elements. Everything from entrapment to merciless slaughter to almost everything like putting bodies in barrels and then hiding the barrels away.
There were a lot of disability pensioners. There was a lot of people who were on the dole. These people were living in fairly average conditions, a lot of poverty. There wasn't the same support network that perhaps you and I might have around us.
The jury found 37-year-old John Justin Bunting guilty of murdering 11 people and 31-year-old Robert Joe Wagner guilty of 7 murders. He's already pleaded guilty to 3. Before killing many of his victims, Bunting forced them to recite lines and phrases which he recorded, and then used these recordings to deceive concerned relatives and others. The jury verdicts confirm Bunting and Wagner as Australia's worst serial killers. Theirs was a remorseless and relentless campaign of murder. Unlike other such cases, their targets were not randomly selected. They knew all their victims.
It's a very dark tale, and the darkness of that tale is very attractive against a town called Snow.
At the time, it was just more of a spotlight on the town and on the gruesome facts of it all. But we probably didn't realise it was going to have such a negative impact on the town.
Snowtown, the community, we were victims of this whole thing. The bank's still standing there. Like it's just been left exactly as it was when it was found 20 years ago, and like surely in the aftermath of it, there probably would have been time and money to demolish it.
People forget that nothing happened in Snowtown apart from it being a storage place. Murders happened in other towns that don't receive the media attention.
Inquiry out of Adelaide, which would uncover a tale of torture.
A shattered human skull and others.
Australia's worst serial killing has left an indelible mark on them.
Morning, Dave.
I'm John. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Probably when they called the movie Snowtown, it was a bit of a sore point.
There was minimal consultation with the town when it came to the making of a movie, Snowtown. They generally didn't want to participate in that.
There's no doubt that we have a number of people rolling through Snowtown to get a look at the bank, and it's a pile of bricks and a shiny door. People want to go to the place where this massive story happened.
So people sometimes drive in, pull up opposite the bank, get out, take a photo and drive away. It's no big deal. It's even funny when they look at the old bank and they take a photo of the other bank. They got the wrong bank.
There had been a suggestion that at the end of all the investigation and all the court cases, that building would be taken over by government, and as was done at Salisbury North, it would be demolished so that there was nothing to encourage spectator tourism.
I would be perfectly happy for the memory of the bodies in the barrel to fade into the past. But I accept that we will never be rid of the stigma of it.
It could have happened at 20 towns around the community, except it happened to us.
Have you forgotten Jack the Ripper? I mean, it doesn't happen. It's always going to be there somewhere. We, I suppose, have just got used to the notoriety. But it's a bit of also give a dog a bad name. They think that it's now an evil place, where it's clearly not. It's just a little country town in rural South Australia.
But I mean, you think that people are going to consult, right, with a town if they're going to close the bloody movie, the name of the town, and ruin people's towns. I'm reading the chat, guys.
You guys look stuck.
Bit like trying to buy a bigger home.
You know Aussie Brokers like Monica here.
Hi, Monica.
Can work out your budget before selling so you can get unstuck.
Chat to an Aussie broker today.
After 25 years behind bars, tonight we can show you the first pictures of Snowtown murder's accomplice, Mark Hayden, ahead of his release.
7 News tracked him down outside Yatala Prison as he ventured out on a supervised day trip.
With his head covered and walking with a limp, these are some of Mark Hayden's first...
What happened? Hey, Jet Set. How you going? Oh, did you say copyright? Well, it's the ABC, but because they show the movie, it's copyright, but, you know, it's always showing snips of news, you know. Even if you want to show a documentary, sometimes it's okay. Hey, Jet Set. How are you going? Oh, okay. Life artist, you finishing dinner? It's Sunday here. It's lunchtime in Australia. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I turn around here because that ugly face of his. I'm always in darkness. Can you guys see me or not? And hear me? Can you see me? They don't want to show his face, actually. They said, I mean, he's going to be walking around the community. Can you guys hear me or not? You can't see me? Oh, you can see me and hear me, alright? Oh, okay. It's bloody hilarious. We had problem with the internet as well here. Well, Melomaniac actually comes from a town very close to me. When I go to the bush, I can't put the phone down for some reason. But anyway, so she's close. Did I get sucked? It's weird because it was all the ABC. But they did show the movie, you know, like they show, not the movie, but the snips of it. They can get, it's just news. It's not a documentary or a movie or anything. It's just news that the guy that committed, well, apparently he was 19 when he was arrested. He just helped. Apparently, they put the word just in front of the crime, and they're saying they just helped dispose of the bodies. I mean, that's not just, right? That's right. It's not just. It's a crime, you know? I don't know. They don't show me. Like, they could show me what they show, you know, say, hey, whatever. But the fact that he went and the parole board said that he's been behaving in jail, that he's been a model citizen in jail, and then it doesn't pose any risk to society. And, you know, Melomania comes from a small town, and my town is even smaller. Up in Netherby, it's only like 6 people. It's like the documentary that we watched last time about, you know, the Party Moriarty that went missing close to Darwin, and he was never found. So they let him out. He's already out. Like a month ago, you know. So, actually the parole board spoke a month ago. He just got released now. Nah, it's shocking. You want to watch something different? This is crazy. You know, you get tired of crime, but this is crazy, crazy. In this town.
Oh, baby, a new one. 2 new listings.
Ah, maybe that you can't show the commercials. Would that be the reason? that you can't show the commercials. You can see my ugly muddy face. Sunday morning face. Anyway, here you go.
It was once a quiet suburban street with kids
Sunbury.
happily and safely riding their bikes to each other's houses. But no more. It's been turned into a big rig highway that leads to a local farm.
Yeah.
It got us thinking, what kind of farm needs this many trucks?
So you're being terrorised by these trucks all day?
Terrorised 6 days a week. It's really impacting people's lives.
Can I ask you what you're doing here?
So we got a farmer up the road who claims he's doing farming and is running 300 plus trucks a day. So 300 up, 300 back, like just causing an absolute chaos on our road.
And that could be a huge understatement.
What's it like for people that live here?
It's distressing. We can't have our kids out in the street. My daughter and son want to ride their bike at the lake that we all have access to, but they can't.
The sand mines.
Sunbury, Victoria, on the outskirts of Melbourne, what used to be a tranquil slice of suburbia. Now, 6 days a week, there's a constant conga line of big trucks snaking through this street and onto this patch of land where they queue up and dump their waste. There's no reprieve.
Not even 30 seconds and another one coming up right here.
And there's one behind.
One behind there as well.
The street splattered in sludge, cars a muddy mess. What exactly is being dumped up ahead and why? No one really knows. The man who's orchestrating it claims he's a humble farmer.
I work at an office at the front of my house and I constantly hear the trucks banging, crashing and everything else. I've even got a headset on and I can still feel the vibration coming from the trucks through like that.
I can barely hear you now.
To find out more, we tracked the trucks to this construction site where they picked up their loads of soil. Then they're transported through the street to this so-called farm. That's where we found Paul Atwell.
Hey Paul, it's Sam from Recurrent Affair. Can I ask you what you're doing here? What sort of farming are you doing, Paul?
Paul's no stranger to controversy, fined $25,000 in 2018 after he failed to comply with an Environmental Protection Authority order to clean up piles of industrial waste that accumulated on another property he was occupying.
Well, I'm happy to have a chat with you, but will you have a chat with us? These residents don't want you here, Paul.
Oh, I'm very distressed.
Yeah, I'm very distressed too. I'm going to pause to tell you guys something, okay? So what happens is, well, in most of Victoria, I speak for where I am, you got permits for building. So there's residential areas and there's farming areas. So if you have a farming area, you can't build a house because there's going to be noise, people complain, and there's a reason why you got a farming area. If you live in a residential area, you can't be working in cars and drilling and all that and have a factory next to a place because it's not a commercial area. So you've got areas, right? So, for example, the little town where my little shed is in Netherby, there used to be a residential area with little houses and it was a beautiful town and they had more churches than people, but I'm not religious, but I'm just saying. 5 churches. So when people left, the churches took off because there was no money to take from the people. Or maybe services. But anyway, then they became farming areas, you know. So I think that you know, you want to live in peace, whether you believe or whatever your religion is. I think it's great, you know, just pray and be nice and stuff. But we've seen horrors on both sides of the fences. Doesn't matter. I've got a massive hay shed behind me and they work, you know. And then, so they work, you know, collecting all the hay, and they actually export to Japan, and it's busy, you know, you've got trucks up and down, and it doesn't worry me at all. The fact of the matter is that these people live maybe on a border with residential and farming, and the councils, when they're collecting money, they don't care, but they don't like me because I'm off grid, you know. Oh, thanks, Journey. I'll have a look. But, yeah. It's, if you're off grid, they'll look at you like, oh, you need to have, I've got smoke detectors, I have, fire blankets. I mean, I've got septic, I've got town water, but it's, bore water, and I've got solar panels, and the whole shed is wired with a generator. It's for sale, actually. You can check it out. I don't want to sell it only because I was a bit sick and I can't get up there, but I'm normally spending a lot of time, and I know that you know, my area is residential, but you can't build there anymore because they made it farming. So they rezone, and that changes what you do in an area. So if you rezone an area, people can live in the existing houses, but you can no longer build new houses. So I've got 2 blocks of land, and one is empty. You could build a house, but you can't because it's farming now. So we've got a neighbour behind me that complains about the trucks. I said, well, when you moved there was a shed that, you know, people gotta work. But yeah, this is a mess. But anyway, I think it shows a little bit about zoning, you know.
I think it's disgraceful that one person can get away with this.
Something the council did do is put car counting strips down on the road, and they were sabotaged within a day.
We're not suggesting there's any evidence Paul was to blame.
Yeah.
Council has received 16 questions in relation to Riddle Road and Canterbury Avenue in Sunbury.
Hume City Mayor Jared Bell addressed the growing unrest at a council meeting on Monday night.
The response to these questions will now be read by James McNulty, the Acting Director of City Planning and Places. Thank you, James. The land occupier has advised that works are being undertaken on Riddle Road, which is generating the truck movements, are related to farming. If this was the case, it would be exempt from a planning permit requirement. We are concerned that the scale of activity goes beyond what would be expected for agricultural use, and we are actively pursuing this.
Council told us its hands are tied as it doesn't have power to simply ban the trucks. It has, though, launched a case at Victoria's Civil and Administrative Tribunal against Paul regarding separate properties, cold comfort to these residents.
We went to a council meeting on Monday and they basically gave us legal jargon to get around it. Honestly, the mental toll it's taking every time a house shakes from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. is driving us mental.
We remain committed to working collaboratively with the community and relevant authorities to ensure appropriate action is taken to address community concerns.
I mean, council can be out at 6:59 a.m. taking photos of your car on a Saturday morning on the nature strip, but they won't be out doing anything else.
About this?
About this.
Here we go again.
Yes. Someone needs to help us because this is not right.
Wow, right? And you've got to be kidding us that council can't shut that down. That is rubbish. As we just heard from one of the locals there, they don't miss a chance to slug residents with a parking fine, but something as crazy as this, and their hands are tied. It is a joke. And Mr. Atwell, you haven't heard the last from us. We want to know what it is you're doing up there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's crazy, right? Well, they found the head. How's this for news?
How to eliminate
Doing
all
Australian
mosquitoes in
news
the area
today.
quickly.
Whoop. Bloody mosquito season soon, Melomanic. We're gonna
This
get
clever and easy method
flies
you can
in the
try tonight
bush.
to get.
Julian Story, with his missing head finally found,
Oh, well, yeah, they found his head.
there's been a major development in the shocking case of murdered Port Lincoln man Julian Story, with his missing head finally found 6 weeks after his death. While Tamika Chesser, the former reality star accused of killing him, fronted court again today.
A waterfront stretch of scrubland on the edge of Port Lincoln, the scene of a gruesome find and key breakthrough in a murder case that's gripped the community in the weeks since Julian Story's decapitated body was uncovered last month.
The fact that we found a skull and human remains in Port Lincoln, given what we've been there for the last 4 weeks, would point in a strong direction that it is in.
A local walking their dog along the popular trail at Slipway Scrub, raising the alarm this morning.
The dog ran off into the scrub. The dog didn't come back immediately on being called. The person who was walking the dog has gone in to see what's going on, and that's how those remains were discovered.
The discovery comes more than 6 weeks after former reality TV star Tamika Chesser allegedly murdered and beheaded her boyfriend in their Port Lincoln home. Firefighters were called to the Flinders Highway unit after reports of a fire in mid-June. Crews finding the 39-year-old's body inside under a pile of clothes. Major detectives, along with local police and SES, launched a series of searches in nearby scrubland and waterways looking for the victim's missing head, but never identified the latest crime scene as an area of interest.
This is on the marina side, and where the murder scene is on the other side of the township, so it's some distance away.
Major crime detectives are now travelling back to the Eyre Peninsula town to search the area for further evidence and collect additional CCTV. Chesser did appear in court this morning on other charges, and while she reportedly did respond to the magistrate, detectives say they still haven't been able to speak with her and don't know when they'll be able to.
I don't want to dwell on when we're going to speak to Tamika and why we can't speak to Tamika. All I will say is, at an appropriate time in this investigation, we will make arrangements to speak with Tamika.
But for now, some closure's finally been provided for Mr. Story's grieving family.
Yes.
They're hoping that this is Julian, obviously, so that they can move on, have the funeral with all of Julian's remains. They're clearly dealing with a lot, but they're happy with the information they've been given and how things are progressing.
Abby Smith, 10 News.
Thank you, Abby Smith. Yeah. So here you have it. What?
Want more from your next deposit?
Well, you know, who pays for premium? Not me.
It delivers with a deposit.
But I love music. Always listening to a different languages, because I speak Spanish, Italian, Portuguese.
26 years for his role in the...
this one here.
Good evening to breaking news, and there's been a huge development as one of the Snowtown killers applies for parole. Caroline O'Day has just come out of a briefing with the Parole Board Chief. Caroline, what can you tell us?
Well, Chief, the Parole Board took into account a long list of elements in granting parole for James Vlasakis. They say that he is not a risk to the community. They say that he has been rehabilitated, he's remorseful and he's eager to build a life on the outside. The now 45-year-old has called a prison cell home for the past 26 years for his role in the infamous Snowtown murder spree, the bodies in the barrels, himself admitting to 4 murders. He was the youngest convicted over the horrific serial killings carried out between 1992 and 99. The Parole Board said today that Vlasakis was drawn into this offending when he was very young and he was scared of his co-offenders. They say during his time in prison, he's been compliant, respectful, and he's socialised well. They believe that he has a real chance at reintegrating into society. His image remains protected even today, like the veil of secrecy around his prison time, after he turned key prosecution witness ultimately sealing the fate of his co-accused John Bunting and Robert Wagner, jailed for 11 and 10 murders, and their accomplice Mark Hayden. He was paroled last year. The Attorney General, Police Commissioner and Commissioner for Victims' Rights can appeal his release. They have 60 days to do so. We know the victims' families are against his release. If he is, he will live under close supervision to start with.
He came into prison when he was 19 years of age, so he was very young. He spent his formative adult years in a very structured environment. The world's changed a lot in that time, so he will need a period of reintegration and resocialisation. He's looking for employment, and he appreciates that will be very difficult with his history.
After that, once he is released into the community, he will have to abide by very strict conditions. For example, where he lives, who he makes contact with, which venues he attends, and there'll also be no alcohol or drugs allowed. Tiff?
Okay, thank you very much, Caroline.
There you have it. And there I am. So he got paroled and released. I think this woman has got, you know, we see crime in Australia and they just get out. They just get out. Young people don't get, you know, they commit a crime. And I'm knitting again. I turn the light on, but doesn't make any difference. I knitted this bunch of Melomaniac while recovering. Sometimes I do my lives on the knit. Yesterday I was in my backyard in the garden, chatting away. You spend too many days on your own, and then you hear, you know. I just report news, and I, you know, sometimes say what I think, but I don't do politics or religion or anything on my channel. We show plants in the garden, and I like to dance. I've written a couple of songs and I dance to the songs. I've written one for life artist, bit of salsa. I'm from South America originally, from a country called Uruguay. But I believe everybody has a right to leave, and, you know, if you don't bother anyone, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so sad. Sorry to hear. And I don't drink or do drugs. I drink water and coffee. Coffee is my drug, you know. Oh, good, Journey. My whole life has been sport. So I play tennis, I go for a walk, I go for a swim. That's why I like the Wimmera River. So Melomaniac knows the area. Do you know Dimboola? I go swimming there. I had a place first before I bought my place in Netherby. Oh, fantastic. Okay, yep, fair enough. It's all right. And I had a shack in Whale, you know, next to Pimpinayo there, between Pimpinayo and Dimboola. So, you know, I don't bullshit. I really know the area. So I was living there, and then I had neighbours that came with dogs and birds and cages, and the Little Desert National Park is such a peaceful place where kangaroos are protected, and you get the eagles and the, you know, emus, and a lot of animals are protected there. But anyway, they came and they blazed in, and like I should have been on a current affairs with my story about neighbours from hell. But anyway, I sold the property, and I went camping on the river. Oh, hey, Melinda. No, how you going, sweetheart? No, I can't see who's watching. It's weird. Sometimes I see the likes. I think you gotta double tap the screen now to like. It's a new thing. But I can see that. But yeah, good to see you, sweetheart. Melinda is from Melbourne. She's a sweetheart. And Melomaniac is from Horsham, just past Ballarat up there. And I went camping on the Wimmera River. I went camping for about 6 months because I thought I had hammocks. I had a very a good life, but sometimes was difficult, very difficult, and very so I chose sports. I would just go for a run or play tennis. When I had my third kid in 1996, I joined a tennis club. You know, I think it's good to put your life into positive. You know, it's easy to fall into addiction. Well, I didn't, but I do smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. That's also an addiction. But the Wimmera River is one of the best rivers in the world. It's got sand. It's so clean. I used to go to picnic band and just spend the afternoon there. Just with, you know, build a little fire and spend the weekend. We spent New Year's. I did my birthday by the river. So cool. I hope this live doesn't get flagged because of that copyright. But anyway, if it is, it is. So I think the world is guided by greed and money, you know. Because at Snowtown, all the crimes that have been committed there was to take the Centrelink checks, you know, and keep cashing in the checks. Like, why would you do that for like a Centrelink check? What is it, $300? Imagine back in 1992, the government, I don't know how much it was because I was working. When I divorced 22 years ago, I had to get 2 jobs or 3 sometimes, you know. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, they can mute it. Oh God, it's funny. I got the cat lying there. He's scratching. I'll show you. It's my son's cat. That's Skittles. I sometimes just sit and watch the pictures from Google the TV, you know. I love it. Oh, okay. I can restart a new live, but I know it's late there anyway. Doesn't really matter. I wanted to show the news, you know. Welcome everyone to Gigi's channel, where we chill and knit and do fuck all. I don't have an office with multi-million-dollar equipment and lights and microphones. It's just me here knitting in my room while I recover from FEMA surgery. It's been good, actually. It's been really good. I walked yesterday and oh yeah, sounds good. I've been on YouTube for many years, since 2009. So if you check my channel, my first video was 15 years ago. It was my children and I went to the city in Melbourne, and there were some African dancers killing it on the dance floor. And yeah, I made a video, and I can't even remember. It would have been an old Nokia phone, you know. I think the world is full of bullshit. Just all these, I mean, I follow big channels because I love what they do, you know. But the minute they start asking for money and subscribe and like and all that, I'm like, yeah, all right. Well, people subscribe if they want to, you know. You can't ask people to subscribe and ask for money. But that's all right. Oh, this is gonna be like a I got poop brain today. It's gonna be a scarf or a neck, you know. You just, yeah. I had a lot of money, then I had no money, then I had a lot of money, and then no money. But me, I'm always me, you know. You're the driving force behind your life. And if you're going to live thinking what other people think of you, you know, that's so funny, finger knitting. If you think, you know, you what people think of you, and then you start changing your behavior according to what people say, you know. I used to knit when I was 6 years old. I had this little machine that was funny. It was a toy, but I used to make all my dolls' clothes. I've never learned to crochet. And you know, I've heard some channels where crochet and knitters start fighting who's better. Because you start with a square, but you end up with a circle. And I love it. I've got a bag that is crochet, but I don't have it here. I have it in my shed. My poor little shed has been abandoned. Okay, yeah. Well, if you don't have the patience for knitting, sometimes get it out in the garden and digging holes is good. Like the movie The Castle. I don't know if you guys saw the Australian movie called The Castle. The son yells to the father. He's a bit simple and he goes, Dad, I dug another hole. And the father goes, good on you, Daryl. Let's go and dig a hole, melomaniac. And then you can fill it up and then dig it again. We used to do that in Wales, right? Because I had a compost toilet. And, yeah, we used to dig in the sand for the toilet. I learned about composting and green living and trying to help, you know. So my daughter started digging a hole far out. She dug a hole. It looked like a bloody grave, you know, 6 foot under. And then she jumped on it. And I thought, okay, we have 4 months worth of toilets in there. Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is? Once you cover your toilet, because we use sawdust, there's no smell, there's nothing, okay? And toilet is part of your everyday. Everybody goes in the morning, and no one wants to talk about shit, and no one wants to talk about farting, and no one wants to talk about death. I think that's part of us, you know. Every day you go to the loo and do your business. But when you live in a city, you don't think about it. You just flush the toilet and you don't care what happens to all the crap that goes down the loo, you know, ends up in the ocean, or some countries don't even have where to put it. So the funny thing is, we didn't have to worry about it because we put a cactus on top of the pile, and you got beautiful flowers, you know. I remember the guy that went to the moon and it was harvesting his own excrement to grow bloody tomatoes. But no, I didn't plant any lettuce or tomatoes. Exactly, Melinda. let it out. But when people like, this is what I'm saying, the council was saying in Australia, the councils are funny, you know. The council in Horsham was saying to me, oh, no, you can't live there. You need to have a shower. You need to have grey water treatment. And I'm like, you would need a shower, okay? And why would I need grey water treatment when I don't even have water? I got one plate, I cook, I clean it, and I throw it in a hole, and then the actual ants love it, you know. Yeah, you can be ecological, you can be very green in the city as well if you have a backyard. Most people live like in a tuna can now, you know, in apartments, and as it's getting more expensive, you gotta live where you gotta live, and you can afford where, you know. I was lucky that I bought the property up there. Unfortunately, I had to retire early, and I had to leave society as such. And then I developed very complex post-traumatic stress disorder just because of life. And it was getting worse and worse, you know. And I thought, okay, that's all right. I had a bit of money, insurance payout, and I bought a property. They were telling me what to do with my money. I said I already found a block of land. So I was researching rivers because I've got a really bad spine, and the doctor told me not to swim in the ocean because of the currents. I thought, bugger you, I'm going to the river then. There's no currents in a river. And I went to the river, and I couldn't believe the beauty of the Wimmera River in Victoria in Australia. The best river in the world. Clean, you can see under, the sand is amazing, right? So I used to go for a swim in the river. Yeah, it's easy to keep, you know, just dig a hole and, but I mean, you know, some people don't own their houses, so they can't go. And the council kept saying, we're going to come and condemn your property. I said, mate, sue your bloody self. It's going to be 45 degrees. I don't know if you guys remember, back in 2021, we had 50, or 2020, we had 50 degrees Celsius. It's like 500 Fahrenheit, I think. And I had to go next door to my neighbor. She had her actual house, and she had air conditioning, my dear Julian. I said, hey, let me step outside and experience 50 degrees Celsius, you know, because I never experienced. Oh my God. Oh wow. What was that for, Melomaniac? Legal advice at the moment. I had a drop saw, got over halfway through my left forearm. That's effed up. Oh. Nah. Look, I was doing alright. I was up there in the river. And then in 2023, I had pain in my leg, and they told me I had a tumor inside my femur, and they had to get it out. So, oh, right. So it was a workplace accident. Mine is just bad luck. My whole body is disintegrating. I used to have like the best body, you know, for a 50-year-old. Super muscular. I had muscles, and I could wear a bikini and kick ass, you know. Not that it matters, but I could. And now, you're mellow. I'm mellow yellow. They call me mellow yellow. Oh, you know what I've got? I haven't played in a while, but when we started bitching about our lives, my daughter got me a little violin. She goes, every time you complain about life, please play the violin. Everybody goes through something, you know. That's why I started doing my channel and coming live and doing shorts and videos just to help people feel good, you know. I talk to life artists sometimes, so, you know. Yeah, that's right. Oh, really? You had a speedboat called Mellow Yellow. That's funny. I was singing their song, They Call Me Mellow Yellow. The worst part of life is when you start feeling down and you feel like you're not worthy of it, or, you know, you start getting locked into your house and you don't want to get out, and then you become, you know, disabled in that way that you can't get out and go to work, and people call you to go to parties and stuff and you think, nah, you know. That's why I left and went off grid, and I went to the Wimmera, and I thought I love it. I was so happy there, you know. I was so happy. Yeah. I think it's important to find your place in the world. Sometimes you got no place to go, or you're surrounded by dickheads that ruin your life. Get out. Don't stick around. And don't commit a crime. Just basically get the first train out. You know? Yeah, Melinda. Oh, yeah, Journey. It's funny. Melinda, I was out in the bush for all that, you know, all that time. I was actually not in Melbourne. I got stopped by the police in the highway, and they asked me in the freeway up there between Dimboola and they said, where are you from? I said, well, I'm from many places, mate. What the fuck are you talking about? He goes, well, you can't be here, you know. I said, well, I'm here because I'm going home. I just came from lunch, but I had a TV and a pillow and stuff in my car because I was dating a farmer. We went out for a while. Beautiful person. But anyway, he didn't have internet in the farm, and the TV wasn't smart TV. But I had a little smart TV from Aldi, you know, or the post office or whatever the hell, $200. And I used my, I got tangled up. And I used to take my TV to his place and watch Netflix or a movie or something. Yeah. Oh my God, I have stories. But yeah. I was there, Melinda. I wasn't in Melbourne. And the cops said, well, you need to change your address if you're going to be in the country. I said, well, I've got a property that I bought and I come and go. I'm not always here all the time, you know. I come and go to Melbourne. Remember they put that belt and we couldn't, when it was the pandemic, we couldn't go. Actually, I went to Warragnabil, Melomanic, where you're from, right? I went there to that pub. You know that pub? By the river there. I just wanted to have a beer. And they asked me for my driver's license. And I stuffed up my knitting. Anyway, I said, I'm not giving you my driver's license. I just want a beer. He goes, well, we need your passport or some type of ID. I said, I want a bloody beer, mate. Yeah, Creekside, that one. And they had like all these buzzing things that you order at the table with a computer. And I thought, we're in Warragnabil in the middle of nowhere in Australia, and you got robots asking for food. You don't have waiters. Anyway, I thought, bugger yous. I go to the bottle shop and buy a beer and sit by the river and drink it. And I was just get him. I didn't understand why, you know, it was, I know there's a deadly virus. Is it deadly though, or whatever? I don't enter that conversation either, because people are saying that it was fake. I said, look, mate, with my luck, if I get it, I'll be dead. So I'm wearing a mask. Anyway, I'll fuck this. I'll fix it. And so I love that pub in Warragnarville. Victoria has beautiful, beautiful pub. Yeah, it's too posh. But, you know, Paul the farmer wanted to do right by me and take me out to dinner. We went for a drive, and I think he was getting a bit embarrassed that I didn't want to give my driver's license and obey by the law of the bloody pub. I said, well, they can get stuffed, you know. I just want a beer. But anyway, well, I stuffed these up. That's karma for talking shit. That's alright. I'm only going to wear it myself, so. Oh, Melinda. Well, she can tell you where she's from, but she's in Horsham. But I think she said original from Warragnarville. I go there. That's where my real estate is. John. You probably know John. He's trying to sell my property. So I don't really want to sell my shed. But, you know, you see all these Australian crimes, and I'm there, you know, surrounded by who knows who lives in those houses. I only went there because I wanted to get away from the big city and kind of like go off grid, you know. But every time you go to a small town in Australia, you think there's going to be someone trying to get you with a chainsaw, you know, or an axe or something. But welcome, everyone. It's Sunday in Australia, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here, and it's bloody freezing. It's raining and it's cold and it's windy. I thought I'll show you some of the news and have a chat and check in with you, make sure that, you know, we kind of like see face to face. Yeah, well, you know, these are my reading glasses. Yeah, Melinda lives in Melbourne. Actually, I was gonna go to the city today, and it's freezing. I don't know, it says 12 degrees or something, but the feel when it's windy, we get the South Pole wind, you know. Oh, you're not old. There's no way you're old. No one's old. I feel old when I can't walk, but I had 80-year-olds kicking my butt playing tennis. We were playing doubles, and you see this little old lady come into the club, and the little old lady kicked my butt. They were probably professional, you know. I'm really tech savvy. It's just I only use my phone. I got a laptop. I had a computer, but you know, I need a new phone. I know that much. But this one's behaving. It's an old phone. The idea of getting away in Australia is easy because you can catch a train anywhere, or you can drive. But if you don't have a car, you know, trains are cheap. They're not that expensive. If you're on a pension, they're cheap, and if you're not on a pension, I think they have good prices to go interstate. And that's how my daughter used to catch a train and my son used to catch a train up there. They get off in Horsham or they get off in Neil, you know. I wanted to go to Ballarat. I haven't been to Ballarat for so long. Everybody needs a car in Australia because the distances in Australia are huge. For example, there's a state where this crime happened in Adelaide. I flew to Adelaide by plane and then took a bus to Coober Pedy, you know, where they have the Opal City in Australia, Coober Pedy. It was 11 hours and I was on a bus and I was still in the same state of South Australia. That's crazy. I'll never go anywhere, Journey. I wanted to go to England and Ireland and have a Guinness in Ireland and Scotland. I wanted to go to Italy because I speak Italian. And I wanted to go to southern France because I read a book. I wanted to go, you know, to see the first libraries ever built in the world. And I've never been anywhere. I'm here in Melbourne. Yeah, no, it's great. Melomaniac, independent artists. We have a lot here in Australia. Yeah. There's actually a painter in Dimboola. I don't know if you know Mel. I got a few of her paintings. Mel Obbs, her name is. She's got a shop in Dimboola. And she has an art gallery. And there's another beautiful artist called Angela Walker. She also paints. And if you ever go to Neil, go to Neil. I love Neil. They've got a gallery there, like an art gallery. Oh, yeah. Angela Walker and Mel Obbs. They're from the area as well. They grew up around Dimboola. And Angela Walker is amazing. I got a lot of her paintings. She actually, this is what people in Australia are like, right? People in the bush you meet. She went to an op shop in Horsham and bought all this wool. That she saw these colours. She posted them in the mail for me. I got a package and I thought, who's this from? It was Angela. Yeah. She goes to Horsham as well. She's involved in, they're all independent artists. But if you go to Neil, trust me, go to the art centre in Neil. There's a lot of artists there. Oh my God. We had an op shop there was 2 op shops in Neil. One is like, I don't know if you went past on the way to Canova. It's a little town north of where I am. And there's a puppet shop there. The lady used to go around Australia back in the 70s and 80s doing puppet shows. And she settled in Canova and she still has all the puppets. And I only go to op shops. Everything I buy is from op shops. Second-hand shops, thrifty shops, I think they call in the US. But it would be nice to visit places. I know some people, all they do is travel the world, and you got to have the means, you know, the money. And I'm happy in Australia. I love Australia, you know. Yeah. Tell them I send you. Yeah, isn't it wild that you can go to a town and tell them that Gracie send you? If you say Grace from Netherby, or you can say Grace from Wale, they all know me in that town there. There's a bakery. You can tell them I said hello, please. I haven't seen them in so long. They make all their breads. They make all their pies. They make all their sweets. The op shop in Canova reopened, but it's not like it used to be. It used to be huge. The thing is, you're about an hour from Neil driving. You can hop on the train one day, just go to the bakery. The bakery is the same owner that the bakery in Dimbula, but the Neil bakery is better. But if you go to, it's across the road, you can't miss it. The whole building is purple. And everything in there she has done. She's done all the tables and painted the shop, and the husband works there. Oh, okay. Whereabouts does she work? Well, they got Mr. Lee, but I went there a couple of times. Vietnamese breads are amazing. I love Asian food and Vietnamese food especially because he has no oil. And there's a coffee shop in Neil in northern Victoria, this little town. And there's no dramas there yet. There's no crime committers that are not hasn't ruined the towns. Like there's Snowtown in Adelaide. Poor people, you know. And Larimer. Oh my God. You guys gotta watch the movie Last Stop Larimer on Netflix. It's good documentary about what happened in Larimer. Yeah. Neil has everything you need. Like, from Netherby, I gotta drive 28 k's to get to Neil, and it's the only shopping centre, you know? So funny. So from my property to the Neil town is about 28 kilometers. So I need a car, because if I didn't have a car, I need a horse or a bloody donkey. I was looking for a donkey and a horse, but it'll take me 3 days by horse to get into the town. And it takes me 15 minutes in a car. I will have to get like a backpack with a tent and camp halfway, you know. But Australia's distances are huge between small towns. You know, there's a little town just outside of Warragnarville. I went to had a look at a property there to buy, and I go to Hopeton to the lake sometimes. Hopeton Lake. Okay. No worries. But yeah, I like the Mexicans, you know, in South America. They get a mule and off they go. They put their bags at the back of the mule and they go shopping. And they go to work. I know other places do it too. I just know because I come from South America and I've seen it, you know. And I grew up in horseback, you know. Used to ride horses all the time and get to places by horse. I'm really old. Riding horses, it's not hard. It's just, it takes forever. And when you get out, you get off the horse, you can't feel your legs if you're not used to it. Even remember back in the day, ladies didn't ride horses. They weren't allowed to. You had to sit with your legs to the side, and because they all wore dresses. I'm reading the comment you didn't ask. You told me not to read out loud, but okay. Nice. That is so remote. I've never been to Darwin. It's so far. Australia has, you know, very expensive train tickets or bus tickets. But if you go by plane to Perth, it used to be like $700 to $800 just to get to another state. And it takes like 3 to 4 hours. Yeah. Oh, wow. Melomaniac. I love it. Unbelievable. Oh, really, Shannon? Can you imagine riding a horse? I need a pew pew on my back because difficult times, you can't have a lady going on a horse running around the back of Australian outback without being yeah. Okay. Weird, eh? You find people are funny everywhere you go, you know. Some people come to Australia just to buy a business and get a visa, and they don't appreciate it. Maybe because I come from country in Uruguay, you know, where we had cattle, just growing up. I mean, I grew up in the city, but it was so nice. And then when I came to Australia, I found very similar, you know. I love cattle, and I used to milk cows and stuff. Just for our own, you know, milk, and we used to make butter, and that's just the way it was. So when I moved and bought my own property, I went and tried and do the same. I, you know, cook over the fire stove, and I can build a fire and cook over the fire. Yeah. All right. Well, it's interesting, you know. Huh. That's crazy, Melomania. Oh, Life Artist. I bet he did, Enrique, in Mexico. He can give me a few ideas, I reckon, Enrique. ¿Tiene algunas ideas para mí? ¿Qué mula tengo que comprar o qué burrito tengo que comprar, you know? Yeah. Oh, gosh. That's crazy, you know. Melomaniac, sometimes I speak Spanish. I don't know if Melissa is falling asleep. It is lunchtime here and it's Sunday. Sometimes the messages don't come through, you know. All right. So you, okay. Oh. I speak Spanish, Melomaniac. I speak Italian, and also I speak a bit of Portuguese. And I have friends that speak different languages, so I do too. I think Journey probably went to walk the dogs. Oh, isn't it nice? Well, Australia's got a lot of times where people go and, you know. Oh, okay. So you bathe in your, oh, Sherman Shepherd, how beautiful. My God, that would be hard, Melinda. hard on your back, isn't it? To wash big dogs, you know. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Melomanic. Oh, that's funny. So, Journey, you're watching grooming dogs, and Melinda is washing her dog. Yeah, I got a Kelpie, but he's older. And so we took him to the park, and I was going to walk him this morning, but it's actually freezing. And I had such big news for all my YouTubers, all my channel subscribers, because all my subscribers, we became close, you know. It's not like a million of us, but it's just nice to know everyone personally, and they know my journey. Oh, I had a great day. I walked to the doctors. Of course, I made a little video of people taking the blood out of my arm, and I made that into a short, and I said to everyone, still, don't cry and don't whinge about needles. They're alright. But yeah, I'm the same. Mellow yellow, I'm the same. I can't do a lot, but I'm hoping that I can. I have it in my brain that, you know, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm the same, you know. You always try not to bother anyone. Well, I never remarried, and here I am, knitting without grandchildren, like a grandma, but I'm not a grandma. Oh, well, good to hear. But when I go up the bush, I'll let you know, and we'll catch up for a coffee, eh? Be great. Do you drive? Oh, okay. Gosh, that's hard. It's always good to find something to do, you know. In Australia, there's always something to do. There's a lot of festivals. Now, spring coming in Melbourne. So it's nice, you know. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. That's so hard, gosh. We go through loss, and you going along life alright, and then sometimes you get flashbacks, you know, and you feel like crap one day, and you're allowed to feel like crap, you know. You just tell people, look, I don't feel well today, you know. Just fuck off. And that's it. It's your life, you know. It's so difficult because you don't think about something bad's going to happen to you. You think it happened to someone else. And when it happens to you, it's always good to find people that you can talk to too. Don't feel isolated. There's groups, or there's Lifeline in Australia. You can call numbers for help, and sometimes all you need is to have a chat, you know. Yeah, it's great. Very good. I think that's a good way of living, you know. And you always find good people. Sometimes you're walking around and people crosses your path, and you know. Johnny's been through quite a bit of a journey as well, so it's the opposite, isn't it, Journey? Yeah, but you know, you don't have to have any health issues to want to have a different life. It's like, it's probably worse because there's nothing stopping you. Yeah. We have a saying in Spanish. Cría cuervos y te arrancarán los ojos. It's a funny saying in Spanish, but yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Sorry, I'm going to show you what's on my TV. I love it. So when my leg was a bit sore this morning, but that's okay because I walked a lot and the doctor said another couple of months maybe, you know, until I can do a lot of activities. And I can just sit and watch all the photos from Google TV. It tells you who took the photograph, but it doesn't tell you where it is. I think you can screenshot it and then or take a photo and look it up. I think that's China. A mountain in China. Yeah. You can have ice cream in bed for breakfast, or you can have a 4 o'clock coffee and make noise in the kitchen if you want to. People start sleeping less when they get older. And if you fall asleep at 8 o'clock, you might be up at 5, and that's a lucky sleep, you know. Alright, my darlings. Well, I'm going to go. YouTube normally is very nice to me. You know. Oh, yeah, Melinda. Unless your dog wants some, right? Melinda, if you're, you know, when you're eating and the dog looks at you, it's like, no, this will actually make you very sick. No. So that's what I need to while I've been talking to you so far. So it's not bad. Oh, you're welcome, Melomaniac, and we'll keep in touch. Imagine meeting someone that lives close to where I normally go to. I'm planning to go, oh, maybe I even go for Christmas and New Year's, you know. I know it's hot, but because I'm off-grid, my shed is wired to a generator, and I've got 2 air conditionings. And I love Australian staff. They're a bloody ripper here in Australia. They built this generator called Gen Trucks, and it's a little tiny generator, but it's got the power. With a liter of petrol, it goes for about 9 hours. So I can plug in the TV and the fan if I wanted to, but I need money. I need money to buy a bigger generator, which is about $700, I think. And then I can run the washing machine and the bigger air conditionings and a blender. The one I've got is massive generator, but it makes too much noise. I don't like to bother the neighbors, you know. They said, oh, you know, don't worry about the neighbors. But I do worry, you know. I don't want to be a bitch and put the generator all day just because you can make noise doesn't mean you're going to make noise, you know. Be nice. All right, sweetheart. You too, Melinda. Thank you for popping in, and I love it. I love off-grid, and I love you guys, and respect. And yeah, I'll probably do a live when I feel better sometime next week. And try not to get copyright. It was just news about this dickhead getting released. Alright, keep it real and be nice. Bye.